Hello everyone and welcome to In the Studio, episode 94. So today will be somewhat of a continuation from the last video where I showed you how to add a little bit of sparkle and a touch of liveliness to an upfront snare. In this video I'm going to show you a great resource for calculating reverb and delay times and how you can use that in the mix. I'm going to show you a couple more reverb techniques and also a great way to add a clap or snare accent. So let's get right into it here. The first thing I'm going to show you is the resource that I talked about, which is testtone.com. And I'm particularly interested in the delay time calculator here. So if you go to this website, testtone.com, I'll put it in the description for you if you want to go check it out. And then click on calculators and then delay time calculator. It'll bring up this little guy here. It's going to look different from my screen. I don't use the internet on my production computer, so I just pulled in an HTML file for my other PC so I could show you. So I'm working in 120 BPM in this little demo project here. So what you would want to do is put in your BPM and your time signature, hit calculate, and it's going to calculate all the delay times for each note value. So let's hop back in FL Studio. Say for instance, instead of just applying a very small short reverb to this like we did in the last video, say for instance I want the reverb tail, I want a bigger reverb sound on my clap, and I only want the tail to last right until the next clap starts and no longer, because you don't want reverb washing over the transients and making things muddy. So let's head back to the test tone here. I've already calculated the delay time. The distance between each of those clap hits is 1/2 note. So that would be 1,000 milliseconds. So let's apply that in the mix here. So I'm going to add a reverb to the snare clap. Just going to go for the Valhalla vintage verb. I'll keep it on the concert hall. Let's turn down the mix a little bit. And so 1,000 milliseconds would be 1 second. Excuse me. Give it a little bit of pre-delay. Jeez. Now, we have a reverb time that's exactly in time with the track. And maybe I only want the reverb tail to last exactly 1/8 note or half note. Or not half note, but let's go for an 1/8 note, which would be 0.25. So yeah, I mean, just it's a great little resource to have. You can use this on obviously many things, not just reverb, delays, all kinds of stuff. And then you can also use the same thing for a pre-delay effect. So in Fruity Reverb 2 actually has, you hit this little guy here, this little icon, it'll give you values for the pre-delay. So say I want the reverb to kick in exactly an 1/8 note after, you know, the snare or clap is struck. Or a 16th note. Some plugins have this built into them where it gives you the values for the pre-delay. But if not, then you can use test tone right here, and you can see that an 1/8 note is 250 milliseconds, 16th note 125, so on and so forth. And then you can apply that in the mix to keep your effects, the reverb times, delay times in time with your track. You can go crazy with it if you want. You could use it on a couple things, but it's just a nice resource to have if you didn't know about it. So thought that I would share that with you. The next thing I want to show you is something I think I did in a really early video, but I'm going to show you again just because, and that's a big lush reverb. Throw it not quite that big, with the tail cut with the gate. So yeah, very typical of 80s music, a big reverb with a gate that just chops that tail right off. So that's another technique you can use. Obviously not just on snares and claps, but many different elements if you choose to do so. And the last thing I want to show you is how to do a nice little accent for your snares and or claps. So I'm going to use this clap for an accent. So I'm going to put that right here. I'm going to clone this. I'm going to throw in the copy as well on the same hit. I'm going to put these in the mixer. All right. Pan one left. I'm going to pan one right. Turn them down a little bit. I'm going to mute the other clap for now. And let's just hear that. Now they're both playing exactly the same waveform at exactly the same time. So what we need to do is change one up a little bit. So I'm going to take that second clap and pitch that down a semitone. That's going to create a nice wide sound. Nice. And I'm just going to loop this over one bar for a second. And then what I also would probably do or experiment with is shifting this clap a little bit. So I'm going to turn the snap to none and maybe shift this forward. Yeah, definitely sounds better shifted a little bit. That just creates a little space for the kick and the claps to all kind of have that same spot without, layering the transients up. Even a little bit of space like that really helps things, have their own space and, really helps them poke through the mix much more. So yeah, try shifting your claps either before the beat or slightly after the beat to create a little bit of space for everything and help things just poke through. So this is something that you could use occasionally on just a couple hits here and there. This accent is something you can maybe just use on the second clap, every single bar. Up to you, but just an easy way to create a nice little accent. So that's the video for today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Leave me a comment or question, and I will see you soon. Take care.